Hello everyone and welcome back to our very last step of the retrade refinement, which means we are now able to plot our data. But first of all, we have to save it in a file format to be suitable for Origin. For that, we're going to close this editor. And now it doesn't matter if we reload the PCR file or not, because we completely closed the editor and continue with another software of the FoodProf bar, which is called Run WinPlotter. Then this window appears and we choose here Run FoodProf Retweet program. So we select one more time, last time the PCR file, as usual the .dat file, and interestingly, it asks it to confirm it twice. No big deal, let's do it. And actually, we will receive the very same plot as in the EDPCR editor, and we close it. And then we obtain our refinement in the WinPlotter window. And from now on, we continue with the saving of the file. So we select File, Save Data as multi-column file. And we obtain exactly the same data like in the plot is mentioned. So like the observed, calculated, the difference and Bragg refraction data. And for the plot, we only need the X and Y data file. So we exclude the sig Y. Okay. And here we can save it. It doesn't matter where we save it. I just would like to give it another name. Let's call it final plot and save. All right. And now actually, and finally, we can completely close FoodProf and include the multi-column data file into Origin, which is gonna look like that. At this point, we continue with the plot, and the very first thing we can or should do is delete the columns of the Y observed and Y calculated data. They are just not necessary for us, so just delete it. The other thing which you should consider is to set the difference between the observed and calculated pattern as an X column. And then you are directly able to plot it. So we select everything and plot it as a line. This is exactly what we obtain. And I will show you the general way how to plot it. I think this is more or less internationally welcome to do it that way. So we select any of the curves and choose the plot type. And we choose line plus symbol and then make all of the plots independent. So the first one is the observed one. The observed one is usually shown with red circles. I learned to choose the size 7 and red, and we have to exclude the line. So we just say no line. The second one is the calculated one, so the re-refinement. This is shown only with a line, so we exclude the symbol, make the line thicker, and select black color. The third one is the difference. The difference is also shown as a line. That means we exclude one more time the symbol. The line itself can be thin, and the blue color is already perfect. Last but not least, now the Bragg reflections. The Bragg reflections supposed to be the size of 12. And the symbol is the very last one, this bar. And usually it is shown in green. And this is exactly what we observe. And I see I did a mistake because the Bragg reflections, I forgot to exclude the line. Yes, that looks great. And let's show you the whole plot, at least how I do it. So the labeling is op observed. Second one is calculated. This is the difference. And of course, the break reflections. Force of habit, I always remove the box, but as usual, it's up to you. And how does the plot, in my opinion, looks the best? The best is, and this is also something I mentioned during the refinement, in the very end, even during the plot, you can select the region which you would like to show. And in that case, we select the starting point from 10 to 80, apply. Yeah, in the increment, we can select 10. And usually we remove the intensity, but we can at least call it intensity. Intensity in Arabic unit. And this is the to theta. And usually the angle symbol, but since I have a 4-icon keyboard, I don't know where it is. But you get my point and you know what I mean. That's why let's continue with the plotting. And I'm a huge fan of keeping the whole plot closed, so surrounded by a line, just excluding the ticks everywhere besides, of course, the X scale. None. All right, and that one I usually put in the right corner. And this is a totally fine, refined XRD plot, or refined, Rietveld refined plot. By this, I guess you know how to export the data or the plot into, for instance, PowerPoint. This is something I don't need to teach you. And by this, I would like to end the first tutorial of the amorphous phase. Thank you for listening and see you next time.